Hi everyone, these are my STEM resources. I hope you enjoy. So for the book, for a resource, I chose The Essential Engineer by Henry Petroski. If you ever get the chance to read this, this is a great book. It talks about how science and engineering work together, and how they work together to solve the world's problems. The author, Henry Petroski, takes the reader inside with research development and debates among America's most critical challenges. Petroski helps put ideas into action while reminding us that solutions to 21st century problems will need both science and engineering to solve them. This is a great resource because it gives insight to how science and engineering work together to solve problems. The resources and information provided stress points about engineering being human and the best design come from failures. There's some highlights of inventions and major engineering breakthroughs that are discussed in this book, and just poses the reader to thoughts about engineering needing science and science needing engineering. There's also great insights on designs and inventions and the process that engineer and scientists went through to have a favorable outcome. So it's pretty neat, some of the inventions that they talk about and the process. Even the invention of the light bulb, they talk about that and the process that was gone through in order to find the solution that we use today. This helps to shape my STEM identity because of the examples of things that were engineered and designed through many attempts to find a solution. It also reminds me that anyone can be a scientist or an engineer, and there are similar aspects of each profession. So for the movie, I chose E.T. Extraterrestrial. The reason I chose this is because I remember watching this as a kid, and it's probably the first movie that I can remember that discusses extraterrestrial life. So it discusses that in the movie. The little boy in the movie, his name is Elliot. So Elliot and his friends must solve the problem of getting their friend E.T. home. This also explores friendship and the challenges faced within government intervention. The reason I recommend this is because this movie put the idea out to the world, even little kids like myself, that extraterrestrial life could exist, and kind of pose what it might look like. It also teaches kids about differences in each other and friendships, and science fiction has merit when we think about life on other planets. Many satellites are currently exploring climates on planets to see if life could be sustained. STEM identity, the movie was part of my earliest experiences as a child, learning about possibility of extraterrestrial life. And because of watching this movie, it made me become more interested in learning about space and recent discoveries at that time. So the podcast that I chose was The Case of Hurricanes and Climate Change, which was a NOVA podcast. So this was a discussion on hurricanes. It discusses recent hurricanes and how they are more frequent, disruptive, and stronger. It discusses global climate change and how warmer climates produce more hurricanes. It also focuses on the recent shifts in populations. More people are moving to coastal areas and warmer climates, and how they are extremely vulnerable in the path of a hurricane. This resource is a valuable resource because it connects current events with science. It proposes what-ifs for critical thinkings. There's experts that weigh in on the conversation and provide new insert and research on topics. And there are a variety of topics discussed, and the information and the explanations I thought were very easily understood. So cultivating my STEM identity, this resource can be easily shared with students based on their interests. I'm hooked on the series. I'm hoping to listen to more, and it just strengthened my mindset about alternate forms of learning, such as a podcast. So for the place, I went to the North Museum. So there's me at the entrance, and some of the exhibits. So the North Museum and Planetarium, just an overview. The North Museum allows children and adults to explore live animals, space, and nature. Each exhibit or aspect of the museum offers careers associated with each realm of science and technology in each exhibit. The planetarium serves as a science lab for children and adults. I actually went in the planetarium, and it was a really unique experience. And it actually talked about what life might be like on other planets and how the climate on those planets is an indicator if life could be sustained. This is a valuable resource because children learn through a hands-on approach. Children can explore animals, birds, rocks, and learn information on each exhibit while allowing children to put what they learned into motion by using various technological tools. The planetarium has two experiences, one for younger children with Big Bird, and then there's another show that's geared towards adults and older children. And again, in the planetarium, it encourages everyone to kind of experience what space might be like. So to cultivate my STEM identity as a child, and even now my interests are not learning about space. However, the planetarium experience opened my eyes to the possibility of more than the 9 planets that I learned about in school. It's pretty neat to know how planets and stuff are discovered through telescopes and satellites in space. The engineering design process and all the things needed to be taken in consideration for designing a new telescope made me more interested in learning about space, and that in turn is something that I could share with my students. This experience helped me be open to new possibilities and gave me examples of how to apply knowledge in a hands-on approach.